Hi, my name is Dan Nelson. Thanks for joining me for another free art lesson. I hope you've got some of the earlier lessons because today I'm going to take up where I left off. If you watched How to Draw the Human Torso, then you've seen already the simple geometric shapes that I use to help me get the human torso proportioned close to correct. And don't forget, the real art to drawing anything is observing, is looking at it. So take the memory devices that I give you and then go out and look at people, actually draw real people. Today I want to focus in on drawing the third immovable block in the human physique. Let me explain what I mean by that. There are three chunks of our body that do not move. They do not morph. They do not change shape. Everything around them changes shape, but the three blocks are our head. Okay, if your head changes shape, please call 911. You're in real trouble. Secondly, same thing. If your torso changes shape, you're in real trouble. The rib cage does not. Now the shoulders move, and of course our spine is Yahoo, very flexible. We're thankful for that. But that block doesn't move. The chest block doesn't move. And thirdly, the hip block does not move either. Now it's a obviously different shape. Let me give you the very simple geometric shape of the hips from the front are a rectangle. Let me go back to the very beginning. Are you with me? A head is a rectangle roughly 2 by 3. The rib cage was a rectangle, then we shaved off the edges. That was pretty much a square. And then the hips are a rectangle going this way. Voila, it's already looking like a person, isn't it? Well, I use a lot of imagination. Artists like a lot of imagination. But this is the one I want to focus on today. How to get this hip unit proportioned rightly. Now, as you can probably imagine, I start with a rectangle and we're going to get it a little bit more complex from there. This time we shave a triangle off that rectangle like that. And as I said before, if you get this wrong, if you get these ratios wrong, you're going to be way wrong. It'll be, most of you, if I don't mention this, you're going to carve off way too much. You're going to go like this, and I don't know what that is, but it is not a human hip unit. Okay? So don't make that mistake. You need to carve off just about that much right there. Okay? And then if we turn this person, just as we did last time, we turn this person to the left and look from the side, you could say it's another square. That's the simplest. In fact, I have at home a little figure that I have made that is just the simplest rectangle, square, rectangle. It's like the simplest way to do a human figure. I'll try to remember to bring that in next time. We turn these hips to the side and it's now a square. Now you need to be able to visualize this as a three-dimensional object in your mind. Can you do that? It's not enough to get a trapezoid and a square. You have to put these together. So the composite of those would look something like this. Are you with me? We're looking and the spine comes out there. You need to be able to turn that in your mind. The art of doing a human anatomy is not two-dimensional, it's three-dimensional. And you really can't be a better drawer than you are a sculptor. Okay, so you need to be able to sculpt. Maybe one of these lessons I'll bring in some Play-Doh or some kind of clay and we'll actually do some three-dimensional or a foam. I've made heads out of foam to teach students how to visualize this as a three-dimensional piece. Okay, so we've got the hips, rectangle, shaved off at the sides, and square. Now, I'm going to do two things to this square. One, first of all, I'm going to tilt it because actually from the side, the hips are not a vertical horizontal square. They're actually tilted a little bit. Okay, now this is a person facing to our left. You get that? So I'm simply going to take that square and tilt it like that, and now we're closer to human hips. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to shave off a little bit off here, and that's almost all I need to do is shave a little bit off the front. Now some of you might be saying, man, I just don't get it. I don't see human hips in that shape at all. Well, let me go to a clean piece of paper and try it again. You ready? From the front, a rectangle. From the side, a square. From the front, a rectangle with the side shaved that way. From the side, a square tilted this way. Now understand, this is a person facing to our left. If it was a person facing to the right, they'd be tilted the other way. In other words, I don't know if you can see this far down on me, if you want to think of it, our hips are not level, they're tilted like this. Now, I'm exaggerating because my hips are already tilted that way. But this will help us get the anatomy placed in the right position. Then finally, I'm going to carve a little bit off the top of here and a little bit off for the flat part of the human tummy, okay, the part that is between the iliac arch, I think it's called, something like that. If you're a doctor, please call me and tell me what the real name is, but I think it's iliac arch or arc. It's the part of the, well, let me draw it right here. Let me draw in the skeleton that is being roughly represented. It's something like that, right? That's not great, but it's close enough. If I went back and reviewed and practiced again, I would get all these right. And we'll be talking about legs later. But I just want you to see where this fits. So from the side, this corner right here is represented by the iliac crest, and the sternum, the part of our rumpus that gets hurt if we fall down on it, is the sternum. That tail end, our tailbone, the tail end of our spine is there. So the spine comes out, is curved like that, and ends there. Okay. That's pretty much it for the hips. If you can visualize it as a three-dimensional block. Now, this is when I was a kid, there was a candy bar called the Chunky. And this is the shape that it was. Sorry, I don't even think they're around anymore. But what is it? It's not an anvil shape. There's probably something please email me, tell me what it is. There's something very common in our society that is that shape. Trapezoid from both sides, flat. Let me draw this again from the side only. At a slight angle. Did you get that? That gives us the curvature, sends us into the right curvature of the small of the back. Gives us the right trajectory for the rear end, and the right trajectory for the front of the thigh. With me? And then, of course, if we went back up here, we'd be drawing the chest box, the chest torso. But can you see that? That bum's a little bit too big, isn't it? Isn't it great? Weight loss program. You can lose weight in an art class faster than any other way in the world. This is very ragged and very rough. I'm sure you can see that. You can improve on it a great deal. I think his tummy's a little bit too small. There we go. Is that a little bit better? Are you with me? But do you see how this unit, this chunky candy bar shaped unit, put in there at an angle, helps us get a number of these lines put in the right place? And that's what I'm trying to get you to do, is just have these little tricks so that you know where the hip goes, you know where the chest goes. We're going to talk about the head pretty soon, but I hope you've gotten these down. The chest, the hips. We've got a long ways to go, don't we? Oh my goodness. Hope you're having fun. I am. Thanks for joining me.